Alright everybody, hello once again, and welcome back to the Sonic Adventure Era Marathon 2024. We've got another great run coming up for you right now. Something that I and a lot of people are going to be seeing for the very first time, actually. It's going to be something very exciting. The Sonic Adventure 2 Archipelago Randomizer with OriginalityAce. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into it.
Are we ready to go?
We are indeed.
Awesome. So, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Sonic Adventure Era Marathon. My name is OriginalityAce. I am a Sonic Adventure 2 speedrunner, freelance artist, and of course, a streamer. And today, I'm going to be showing off something pretty neat. You probably might not have heard of this unless you've been keeping around, like, seeing new stuff that's going on in gaming. But today I'm going to be doing a run of Sonic Adventure 2's Archipelago. For those who don't know what Archipelago is, of course, Archipelago is a cross-game modification system that randomizes the game's data and then builds it all together into a single unified multiplayer game. It can be played with a single game or multiple, and of course, naturally, it can also be played with multiple people. Players choose the games or game that they want to start at the beginning of their run, they pick their settings, and then the system randomizes all of the objects in the game and scatters them across the world for all the players to find, with the typical end goal of beating the game. So, Archipelago's settings have a lot of different things you can toggle, but for the sake of the marathon, I'm going to be doing a little bit one on the shorter side. So I'll go on ahead and get that ready to roll. Timing, of course, will begin once I hit A on one player play. That should be in 3, 2, 1, go.
Decide which stage to go to.
Okay, so don't know if my thing went through there. 3, 2, 1, go, yeah. Okay, so we got a few Sonic stages and a few Shadow stages, 1 Rouge, 1 Knuckles, and 1 Eggman level. So I'll just quickly break this down. So, progress in Archipelago is made through the process of collecting checks, and checks are basically just tasks that the game requires you to do. That was very lucky. For me, my checks that I have to get here are collecting the 3 Chow boxes, destroying the gold beetle in every level, finding the ingrained upgrade, and of course, also, completing the missions. So, not only will I be playing through the levels as quickly as I can here, but I'll be trying to find all of those as well. So we got a decent P2 here.
It's closer.
It's in these boxes. Perfect. And of course, right there we've unlocked Knuckles' Mystic Melody. Now I did get a dig piece, so that is a bit unfortunate. I won't be able to grab that, so what I want to do here is just take a couple instant death strats, just so that way I can make sure that I'll actually be able to get a decent piece. Preferably one that's like in the water room, because it actually has a chance of generating certain pieces.
It's over.
Let's take a look. Path to the Abyss. That's better than nothing. I'll take that. Let me quickly climb back up here and hit this. I'm trying to remember if Path to the Abyss is the one we got a clip out for. I believe it is.
It's closer.
Oh, slipped right past me. Come here, Emerald. There we go.
I found him.
So, also, if you might have looked at the screen at the very beginning, you'll probably notice that I only had about a handful of levels. Reason for that is because I have to collect a certain number of emblems to unlock a boss fight. Once I clear the boss fight, I'll unlock another chunk of stages. All of the objects in the game naturally are randomized, so character upgrades, emblems, of course, power-ups, are all just scattered about throughout all these different levels. So I'm going to try to do my best to clear them all as best as I can. And of course, one of the cool things about Archipelago from a speedrun perspective is that naturally you'll be able to see a lot of like different things come into play that are things you probably would never think about trying to do. Stuff from like knowledge for things like any percent, for low percent, certain bingo knowledge. Oops, that was unintentional. Quickly grab that. Of course, since I took damage there, it spawned the back ring, but thankfully I don't need to use the back ring, because I can just dive down here and go into the upgrade room, and then just grab the rings in here.
Here I come.
So as you can see there, grabbing the upgrade didn't give Knuckles the air necklace, it gave him invincibility instead. Some of the objects that you can get, obviously, are crucial for progression, but of course they can also be minor things, like in this case, rings, shields, speed shoes, invincibilities, or extra lives. In order to completely beat this, I'm going to have to collect a total of 70 emblems, which will open up Canon's Core. And then from there, it's basically just last story, for anyone who's already familiar with SA2. You play through Canon's Core, then of course you go and do the final Biolizard, and then of course the final hazard in order to beat the game.
I found him.
There is that. Quickly run in and grab that other power-up. So there we got Sonic's Ancient Light. Not exactly the best power-up to get in this scenario, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. Archipelago has a lot of different settings that you can toggle for, like, the things you can unlock in the games. You can even have traps show up. And there are also, like, a few other extra abilities that you can toggle on that will, like, unlock it for... I don't know what I'm saying for a minute there. Basically, you can have more checks than what this game I've got currently set. You can set checks for every Omo Chow in the game to unlock something. You can have checks for finding all the different little hidden animals in the game, of course. It's very fun. It's a really neat way to like experiment and try out a lot of the different things that you would see in this game. Alright, so now we've got the Dark Race. It's the Dark Race of the Hero Race music for this one. It's very funny. I'll be going back in to go and grab the first Chow box, which we passed by that briefly, just because I wanted to swing through and quickly get to the others. Thankfully, we have it also set where you don't need to collect any of like stuff for the Chow in order to get some of the checks, though you can toggle that. There are checks to make it so that way once your Chow reaches a certain level in its stats that it will actually provide them a check. And of course there's a very funny game mode that you can toggle on that will actually require you to make a Chaos Chow basically to beat the Archipelago. It is very long. Thankfully though, this one should be pretty easy. So I'll be cutting my wall run short here because I want to break this Chow box. That gave us a shield. Very nice. Very nice. I've been playing a lot of Archipelago with friends lately, and it's genuinely a really good time to like enjoy it because Sonic Adventure 2 is only one of the few games that Archipelago currently has compatibility for. There's literally tens, like, of different ones and a bunch of others that are actually still currently in the works.
Yes!
Alright, so there's that mission collected. Hopefully that will give me something useful for the next mission. So we got Eggman's protective armor from that one. That's a very funny unlock to get. Much like Sonic's Ancient Light, doesn't really have a whole lot of purpose outside of just giving you a little bit of extra HP. Now since I don't got the light shoes yet, I'm gonna have to play this one a tad differently. It's fine if I don't grab all the rings because there are plenty of them scattered throughout the stage that I can access. Yep. There we go, everything's smoothed out a little more and went a little faster. There we go, broke the gold beetle. Just gave me 5 rings. But that's okay. Whoops. Didn't mean to go off the ledge there. Perfection! Sonic Adventure 2 also has compatibility to randomize songs from SAEM as well, if you have the SAEM version of that, so it'll actually take music from both and put them in. But currently we just got SA2s. Alright, so since I left those last 2 Chow boxes, we're gonna go on ahead and collect them now. Not many people know about this Chow box right over here. There's this tiny little ledge that you gotta somersault underneath, and this is where you grab the first Chow box in this level. And then, of course, our second Chow box will be right over next to the Lost Chow, so we can grab it when we come over there. If we'll get lucky, we might actually find some upgrades that will help us out. Because since we've got a lot of Sonic and Shadow stages, most of Knuckles, the Hunters, and of course the mech characters are going to be left for the second and third gate of, like, different characters you can unlock. You can customize how many emblems you want to have set for Sonic Adventure 2's Archipelago, like, in the entire, like, item pool. I currently have it set to give me 100 emblems. So all I would just need is about 70 of them, and then I'll unlock everything else. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is try to go for this trick right here. Do a good spin dash, jump off the top of that. Just barely didn't have enough height for that, but that's fine. Try it again. Come on, Sonic. Whoops. Didn't mean to fall there. Sometimes the controls are a little wonky. And that's why we grabbed the checkpoint, so we could just spawn right back here. Come on, Sonic. There we go. Now we got the right amount of height that time. So that's all of Green Forest taken care of. Let's quickly run over to Skyrail. So we got another Chow song here. gets immediately interrupted because of the invincibility. The cool thing about this is that when you get power-ups like invincibilities or speed shoes or shields, if you grab them upon completing a mission, they'll immediately be distributed to the character the moment that they enter into the next stage. So sometimes you can get really lucky and actually get ring power-ups, like the one I just got a second ago, to actually help you out with M2s. Not too sure why I was homing attacking those for. Come on, Shadow. There we go. Okay, we're not gonna make the jump to the pumpkin from there because of the speed. But we should be able to at least grab this Chow box that's right here. Fun fact about Skyrail, it is the best stage in Dark Story to grind lives in, because you can grab about 11 lives in a full sequence. Gold Beetle's down here, so we jump off the rail and homing attack that. Give us a few extra rings.
Here we go.
There we go.
Ultimate victory.
Decide which stage to go to.
Alright, so now we can go to Skyrail M2. Now, I purposely left the second Chow box be because the last Chow box is right where we're going to be finishing the mission anyways. So first thing first, we grab these rails here. There's a singular ring up here that we gotta grab. Homing attack over, grab this ring capsule. Do a quick homing attack jump over here. Grab the majority of these. Then hit the spring. Now this is an IL that's usually done in about 30 seconds or so. And I completely got a bad rail switch because the game lagged. Come on, game. There we go. Apologies if the game is running a bit on the slower side. I don't exactly have the very best computer, but I'm trying to make sure I got everything working just as much as I can here. Alright, so hit this checkpoint, take this rail, grab this ring capsule, hop over, grab this one, and then we jump all the way down here, break the Chow box, so that way we can get that last check,
Here we go.
which gives us another emblem.
Ultimate victory.
Decide which stage to go to.
Now we go for the Lost Chow. Lost Chow is in around about the same spot where I did that rail switch. Only instead of going down the rest of the level, we're just going to be going up top. We'll do a little spin dash jump up there, so we can actually get to him. Normally, you would need the Mystic Melody, but when you're a speedrunner, you know a few things about the levels. Voila.
Here we go.
Chow has been found at 23 seconds in-game.
Ultimate victory.
Decide which stage to go to.
So now, let's check. Let's go to Metal Harbor. Also, something you might not have, or might have probably noticed too, normally Sonic Adventure 2 has 5 missions for every level, but with our Archipelago setting, you can actually fine-tune this and select which missions you want to actually be available while you're playing. So I've got it currently set to just be missions 1 through 3, rather than missions 1 through 5 for everything. Route 101 and Route 280, the 2 kart racing levels that we'll see, are only Mission 1 and Mission 2, and Cannon's Core, of course, is just Mission 1 only for the time being. Okay, I don't know why Sonic didn't homing attack onto the Gold Beetle there. Come on, Sonic. There we go. He's apparently in a mood to grab ledges a lot. There we go. Now we got the Gold Beetle. Give us 20 rings. Normally, you would need to grab the light shoes to progress, but we actually don't. So what we do is we jump up here and do a full spin dash jump, and we completely clear the gap that we would have normally needed the light shoes to complete. Second Chow Box is right over here underneath the shrine where the Mystic Melody is, where we get Eggman's jet engine. That's going to be extremely useful. Not many people know about that, this rocket right down here. This is how you complete the mission normally if you don't have the light shoes. I think it's also there in the 2-player mode version of the stage as well, just in case somebody takes the light dash chain. Sonic, thank you. And then grab this third Chow Box right over here. Now, instead of taking the whole pathway around, we just homing attack onto the spring there, typically. You can just jump onto it directly. Anybody who's unfamiliar with Sonic Adventure 2 might not know this, but you can actually press the A button while you're on that sequence, and you can jump off of the missile early. Hopefully that gives us something. There's Rouge's Mystic Melody, so that will actually come in handy when we get to a couple of her levels. Security Hall is definitely going to be a level where that's going to come in handy. Alright, let's quickly swing over to... Yeah, let's go over to Weapons Bed. Because we've gotten Eggman's jet engine now, we can actually access the rest of the stuff in his level. Normally, if you don't have the jet engine, you can really only grab a single Chow Box and his upgrade. So the large cannon there just simply gave us a shield, and the first Chow Box is right there, giving us yet another emblem. You actually don't need Eggman's, his Vulcan Cannon power-up, basically, in order to completely break through these boxes, because you can just hop along everything else in the background and get around all of the spots where it's needed. Do a quick lock on there to those rings. Second Chow Box will be coming up very shortly. Right around here. There we go. That gave us yet another emblem. Already at 9 emblems. We're doing pretty good. About a 1/7 of the way there. In case if somebody is watching that isn't exactly familiar with Sonic Adventure 2, you're probably wondering, why am I pausing every single time I get ready to jump? Main reason for that is because that is a speedrun trick. It's a very useful piece of movement that we call a pause hover jump. Basically, the boosters for the game are coded in such a way so that way if you immediately start hovering, like the quicker frame that you jump, you'll actually get extra height from it, and you'll be able to travel a little bit further distance or jump over certain ledges or walls. In this case, it allows us to clear some of the more intrusive gaps, like this one. So we don't we don't need to take all those platforms all the way around. We can just hover right here to the end. We should be reaching a threshold to unlock the first level gate, so that way we can actually get to a second set of levels, which we did. We unlocked it, so now we have a boss fight here, a Sonic boss fight. We won't do that one just yet because we want to finish up gathering some of these emblems in these earlier missions before we move over to those. And having that magnet shield is actually pretty useful for this mission. This isn't one of the instances that I was talking about where an upgrade will actually be significantly useful for a character in certain missions. Because getting a magnet shield at the very beginning of an M2 will definitely help you out a lot if you're playing as like a mech character, because you can obviously grab the rings, and if you're playing as a hunting character, the back ring immediately will spawn right after you take damage. So you can just tank the hit from your shield and then reload the back ring and then jump back into the stage to collect all the rings that you might have already previously collected over again. Quickly magnetized all of those rings. Normally you would finish this route around about the very end of the last platform where I was at, but since we have all of these rings over here that we can quickly grab thanks to the magnet shield, we should be able to finish this a little bit sooner than that. Quick snipe from that balloon gives us the 20 rings that we need.
You know why I am the best.
Decide which stage to
Alright,
go
we
to.
officially have 10 emblems, fully 1/7 of the way there. And we'll only need about 18 more emblems to unlock the 3rd level gate. I mean to get sniped there by the jet, but it's okay. A nice little quality of life touch that's also been added to SA2 Archipelago is that whenever you select a mission, when you pause, the number that is correlated to said mission will actually show up on the top of the screen, right there in the middle. So you see it says 3rd. It also shows us the user interface on what upgrades we already have collected for the character, and of course the chow boxes, and naturally, of course, the upgrade, whether or not we've got that collected. Whoop. So he fell down. Thankfully, there's a little bit of a backup here. I can do a pause hover off of that little lip, and it gets me onto this ledge. Now we just fly around. Don't need the Mystic Melody at all for this mission. Just quickly squeeze Eggman into this gap. There we go. And we have acquired yet another Lost Chow.
Now you know why I am the best.
If you have checks set for, like, the animals and for every Omo Chow in the game, then you can actually have, like, several thousand different things that you would need to look at for every single level. Alright, let's quickly head over to Mad Space, because I can grab a couple of the Chow boxes there, and of course quickly grab the upgrade. So, first Chow box should be right around... No, it's on the other side. There it is. So we can quickly grab that one. Only gave us a few rings, but that's okay. Whoops. Game did not read my A button input there. We don't need the rocket for this, we can just simply do this. Run over. Whoop, didn't mean to hit that spring. And a quick spiral upper from underneath will actually give us that, so it gives us Knuckles' hammer gloves. That'll be useful when we unlock Death Chamber. Death Chamber is one of those stages that can be very annoying in Archipelago if you don't have the necessary power-ups. But having the hammer gloves will definitely make traversing the stage a heck of a lot easier than it would normally be. Because if you don't have the hammer gloves and you don't have the dig claws, you pretty much have to clip out of bounds to get to all the different designated locations. The other Chow box should be right up here, along with the gold beetle, so I'm just going to quickly run over here and grab that. Add spaces. Golden beetle is up there. I think I missed my opportunity to hit it, which I did. That's unfortunate. Which means I'll have to come back to it.
It's gonna be two more.
But we can grab this one, which is right over here. There we go. Okay, so since we had that happen, we won't be able to do much here if we don't get the dig claws. So let's go on ahead and do... Let's do M2 for Metal Harbor here, and just go on ahead and finish this one off. Gathering the rings in this stage is going to be a little bit more tricky, considering the fact that I don't have the access to the light shoes, so I'm going to have to use Sonic's, just pretty much just have to rely off of just his jump hitbox in order to grab a bunch of these. Okay, grabbed another ring there. Jump up top. Quick spin dash hover. Here. Fortunately, didn't get 20 rings like I was hoping for there, so I won't be able to get anything from that checkpoint. Thankfully, the boarding section at the end has a ton of rings that we can grab, and if push comes to shove, we can always just take the back ring.
Missile launch in 15 seconds. Fire.
Normally, because we would play in normal game mode, you would have the upgrade for this and make the stage a heck of a lot easier, especially in an IL sense. But you would see similar tech to what I'm doing right now if you were playing in SA2's low percent category, which means you only grab the necessary upgrades required for completion of the game. And that mostly just boils down to having the jet engines for both Tails and Eggman, and of course the dig claws for Knuckles and Rouge. Every other upgrade in the game can completely be skipped entirely and still complete the normal base game. There we go. Okay, M2 is finally done now. Thankfully, M3 won't take us very long to complete after this.
Decide which stage to go to.
Of course, we get another extra life from it. Quick spin dash jump across the gap. Quickly jump up here. Now here comes the fun part. Normally, Lost Chow is all the way over on that platform back there. Casually, you need the Mystic Melody, but you can clear it with a little bit of a tight spin jump.
That was cool!
And that gives us another emblem.
Decide which stage to go to.
Alright. Let's head on over to Radical Highway and take care of some of Shadow's missions. And yet again, more Chow music. I've been playing a lot of Archipelago, and a good chunk of the time, I end up getting a lot of Chow music that randomly shows up in the place of the main stages. Obviously, this time is no exception. So now we're at the first Chow box, we go for the Flame Ring, which is back here. Which gave us yet another emblem. Quickly grab the pulley. Alright. Jump around the side here. And then our second Chow box is actually back here. So we're gonna have to take this little road. And unfortunately it does hit the trigger to cause the bridge to fall. But it's still it's not too terrible. Can we go for a red Hand? Nope, collided with the enemy. That's unfortunate. Okay. Wow, okay. Thank you, Shadow. It's kind of funny that we got both Ancient Lights, just to start off. As opposed to any of the other upgrades for Sonic or Shadow. Alright, so now we just gotta jump down here and take this to the other side. Gold Beetle, of course, is right up here in the middle.
Here we go.
And our third Chow box is right down here. Quick somersault underneath this gap. Jump around and hit the spring. If you're a fan of like playing through Sonic Adventure 2's like mission-oriented categories, then honestly Archipelago would be a really fun way to try this game out. The entire thing is done through stage select. You don't gotta go to any story modes. You can choose whether or not you want to toggle on things like the boss rushes or the kart races for different checks. We don't have those on for this one particularly.
Too easy for me.
And another thing too is the various traps that you can actually toggle for Sonic Adventure 2. Traps can do things like increase the game's gravity, shrink your character size to a very tiny level. It can also reverse your controls, cause a little chaos control for about 10 to, I believe, 15 seconds at maximum. And of course, another funny one. The two funniest ones, I would say, are the Omo Chow trap, where it will just cause a swarm of Omo Chows to just proceed to follow you around, like, through a good chunk of the level and just talk one after another. And the other funny one is you are forced into a small mini-game where you have to play Pong. A little Sonic head will appear up on the screen, and then you basically have to, like, hit it, bounce it back and forth across the screen in order to win. And if you fail it, then you just instantly die.
Ultimate victory.
Decide which stage to go.
Alright, now we've just gotta get to the Lost Chow for Radical Highway, and then I think I'll go on ahead and activate the first boss and unlock the second set of stages. Hopefully we'll get some quicker stages, probably for Knuckles and Rouge, that we can easily do. Alright, let's try to go for a mock bounce. Nailed it. And of course, go around like this. Alright, so now we just gotta jump down here and hit the spring. And then we can clear this gap just by doing a spin dash jump and get to the Lost Chow from there.
Ultimate victory.
Decide which stage to go to.
Alright, so let's see what our Sonic boss is. Bigfoot. First boss that you would normally have if you were playing through the story mode. Do some quick somersault jumps on top of these boxes. And take him down with little to no effort.
Hey guy, take care.
Alright, so we have our second set of stages. 4 mech levels and 4 hunting levels. Well, more like 3 hunting levels and a kart race. 2 kart races, okay. Well, since we have the jet engine, Sand Ocean is one of those levels that will go by extremely quickly. Normally, if you were speedrunning this stage in vanilla, you would have to do a very tight frame-perfect trick called sandwalking in order to get over to this upgrade. I don't believe I have the Mystic Melody. No, I don't. That's fine. So, since we got that, we gotta actually play through the level, which is fine, because we'll need to play through it anyway so we can actually access all of the Chow boxes and the Gold Beetle. Oh, I tried to be fancy there and fortunately hit the invisible wall. That's unfortunate. So we'll just run over here. First Chow box, of course, is back here. Gotta be careful that we don't hit those dash pads, because they'll launch you directly into the spike ball, if you're not careful. So those 20 rings pretty much got wasted, because I got hit immediately. Second Chow box broken, of course. Yet another emblem count. We're already at 19. We're doing pretty good so far. The game's been pretty gracious into giving us a lot of our emblems really early on. And of course, the third Chow box is right here. Wow, 3 emblems back to back like that. That's really good. Does not want to jump up there, it seems. Alright, well, since we've gotten everything we needed in this level, I'm going to try and go for a funny little trick here called Eath Marvelous. If you basically jump and hover into the corners of these dash pads, you can get launched into the air and fly like that directly to the section at the goal ring. First try, that's pretty impressive. And Eath Marvelous can go one of 4 different ways. Best way, which is the one that I got. The second way is called a vert jump. Basically, it just sends you straight up into the air, and then you walk across an invisible ceiling. And then, of course, the third method, of course, it just launches you normally. Fourth, it just spikes you directly into the sand, and you lose a life. Most people don't know that there's an extra life there. It's actually really useful if you're doing speedruns and you're kind of low on lives and you're not too concerned about cycles. Come on, Nickman. Alright, so we sniped that enemy, quickly grab these rings. Get a quick lock on to that. And then grab these rings over here. And we got 70, we got a checkpoint that gives us 20 rings. And we grab our last 4. Checkpoints and ring manipulation is extremely useful, both just in vanilla SA2 gameplay or for speedruns, or of course naturally for Archipelago, because getting your checkpoints at specific times will ensure that you're pretty much always guaranteed to complete the missions a lot faster than normal. Having between 70 and 79 rings will always give you a 20 ring, for example, and then everything from 80 onward will either give you speed shoes into then giving you shields. That was a bit of a tight jump. Alright, and the Lost Shell, of course, is over here. Whoa, easy there, computer. So you can just hit that spring, and it'll give you enough air height so you can actually just fly all the way across this gap, cut all the platforming, and just get to the Lost Chow from here. One of the few Chow missions that actually does not require the Mystic Melody in order to find the Lost Chow. Just very funny.
Now you know why I am the best.
Decide which stage to go to.
Alright, so now we also have Iron Gate, Pumpkin Hill, Wild Canyon, Infernal Engine. So let's go on ahead and do Wild Canyon and follow it up with Pumpkin Hill. We get at the bottom of a huge wall painting. Oh, careful there, Knuckles. First Chow box, of course, right over here. So we'll grab this, then grab the piece.
It's close.
Oh, and there's Knuckles' Shovel Claw, so that means we'll be able to completely do Pumpkin Hill once we get to it. Alright, so there's the second box, and Gold Beetle right over here.
Here I come.
Oh, hello, free piece.
One more left.
Whoa, easy there, Knuckles.
It's closer. I found him.
That went pretty well. Not a bad set, all things considered.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Decide which stage to go to.
Alright, now we get to do M2. Grab 100 rings. So most of our rings are going to come from item capsules and these rings right over here on these pillars. Climb right up top here. And the last ring capsule should be right up here.
I found him.
Perfection.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Decide which stage to go to.
Now, I saved the other Chow box for this mission specifically because the area that we're going to get to it is right over here. Since we do have the shovel claws, we could technically dig for this, but since the clip is literally right here, we might as well go on ahead and just grab the Chow box. Run against the wall and clip on through.
I found him.
You can actually use that same clip to get to the Mystic Melody room, which is where the power-up would be for this level specifically. So we'll probably go on ahead and just dive in and do that one really quick as well. against the wall. Come on, Knuckles. There we go. And that just gives us an invincibility power-up. So, Pumpkin Hill is one of two very strange levels for Sonic Adventure 2.
Here I come.
When I say that, it's because Pumpkin Hill only has the three stages, I should say, my bad. Pumpkin Hill only has, of course, the three Chow boxes, but doesn't have a gold beetle normally found in the M1. In order to get to this one, I have to hover over here. Or not hover over here, glide over here. The other two stages that are a bit peculiar are Weapons Bed, which, as we played earlier, it doesn't have a gold beetle either. And the third level is Hidden Base, which is a stage for Tails. And it only has 2 Chow boxes in it instead of 3. So now we've got noise upstairs and downstairs. Before we go do that, we're gonna quickly glide over here and grab the third Chow box, which is hidden behind this pumpkin.
It's closer. I found him.
And just like that, mission 1 is complete.
Yeah.
So that gave us Eggman's Mystic Melody. That would have made his level go by a little faster had we would have gotten that beforehand. Alright, so now we gotta collect 100 rings. We'll just start off by grabbing some of these ring capsules. Kind of funny that of all the levels, Pumpkin Hill has vanilla music. Sometimes this can happen, even in Archipelago. Sometimes randomized objects can actually just appear in their normal locations. It's rare, but it can happen. Quickly grab that Chow box. Grab some rings right down here. And then, of course, we can dig right behind these boxes and hit a spring that's actually underneath them. Our last rings will be right up here. Or around this area, I should say. We'll grab a couple down here. And then our remaining rings will be along this little trail right here.
I found him.
A lot of the mission 2s for ring routing will usually orient using the ring, but when you get a massive amount of rings from completing the mission, well, you need to take damage in order to actually get it to respawn. I didn't think about this at the moment, but we actually can get to the Lost Chow if we take the Church Mountain rocket instead of the Pumpkin Mountain rocket. I don't know why I defaulted to go to there. Because it does give us exactly enough height to just glide right over to this platform. We don't even need the Mystic Melody.
I found him.
Could have did that a heck of a lot faster, but it's still perfectly alright.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Decide which stage to go to.
And with both of those done, of course, now it's just a matter of doing Dry Lagoon.
Lucky.
Let's try to go for a little. Oh, and I actually had it. That was unfortunate. Didn't mean to jump off of that. So we'll quickly glide over here. Grab this. And there's Sonic's magic gloves. I'm just quickly checking these because there's a chance that a piece can spawn up there, which it did. Oh, hello, piece 3. And then we'll quickly grab our third Shao box before we go grab the piece.
It's gotta be close. I got it!
And there's Sonic's bounce bracelet.
How is
That's gonna be
Perfect.
useful in
Like me?
other levels that we're gonna have to play through.
Decide which stage to go to.
Alright. So M2 is very funny. We grab a single ring and then we take damage intentionally. Then we climb up top, and then we grab these ring capsules. And then of course the back ring will make all the objects in the level respawn, including the ring capsules that we just grabbed.
I got it!
And that allows us to beat the level in under 30 seconds.
How was that? Perfect? Like me? Decide which stage to go.
Now since we don't have the dig claws yet for Rouge,
Lucky.
we have to do an out-of-bounds clip in order to get to the Lost Chow, which you can do right here with these heads of these statues.
I got it!
You can also use this same glitch to actually clip out of bounds and then fly all the way over to the Mystic Melody upgrade room, as well as, of course, the Gold Beetle, which I'm gonna have to do to grab both of these really quick.
Lucky.
Alright, we got the Gold Beetle, and now we just gotta grab the upgrade. And that's our 31st emblem. We're making pretty good progress. We're almost halfway there. In fact, we also unlocked our second level gate, which is also a Sonic boss fight. I'm gonna quickly do Iron Gate, however, because thanks to having the jet engine, we can skip a good chunk of this level.
Fire up on me.
Level 1 security door breach. Emergency formation. Intercept intruder.
Quickly jump up here, grab our first Chow box. Of course, normally, because this is the first level, you would have to hover down,
Level 2 security door breach.
but we don't need, or you would just have to ride that elevator, but since we got hover, we can just slowly hover down.
Level 3 security door breach. Intruder has breached sections 3 through 8. Get him.
And then, of course, the second Chow box is right over here, which we can quickly grab.
Level 4 security door breach.
And our third Chow box will be in the last room, right next to the gold ring. If you aren't familiar with Sonic Adventure 2 and this level, specifically in speedruns, yeah, you can completely skip that one door. It's the only one that you can actually skip like that, for whatever reason. Go for a quick lock-on. And then we pull back so we can break this Chow box. Two emblems back to back, 33 and 34.
Decide which stage.
Intruder alert. Assume level 1 defense formation.
Iron Gate M2 is a very easy level to do, since we can just lock onto a lot of the ring capsules.
Level 1 security door breach. Emergency formation. Intercept intruder.
Jump up here. Lock onto both of those.
Level 2 security door breach. Level 2 security door breach.
Lock onto those ring capsules before we're hitting the checkpoint so we get a little bit extra rings.
Level 3 security door breach. Intruder has breached sections 3 through 8. Get him.
And then we can grab our remaining rings right down here.
Now you know why I am the best.
Decide which stage to go to.
Intruder alert. Assume level 1.
And because we have the Mystic Melody, because we got it in one of Knuckles' levels, we can go on ahead and grab the Lost Chow.
Level 1 security door breach. Emergency formation. Intercept intruder. Level 2 security door breach. Level 2 security door breach.
Whoops. That's unfortunate. Didn't get the lock on onto that bottom right part of the door. That doesn't happen very often.
Level 2 security door breach.
Gotta love it when you get tongue-tied just for a random reason. To get to the upgrade of this level, you normally would need the
3 security door breach.
the Vulcan Cannon upgrade to break the iron container so you can go through there. However, you can actually get to the upgrade by clipping out of bounds through using the elevator. And it's the fastest trick that you can actually do to beat this level if you're playing in a New Game Plus version of the speedrun. And of course, there he is, just chilling up here on this little platform. Nothing's really up here with the exception of like a couple of enemies. It's a very barren area for the level, and I'm not too sure why the devs made it like that. You know what, since we're here, let's try going for the clips. You grab that upgrade a little earlier than normal. For all we know, it might be something crucial. And if it's not, well then y'all get to see me try to do a really cool clip.
Intercept intruder. Level 2 security door breach. Level 2 security door breach.
Alright, we're out! So yeah, you can clip out of bounds just like that. And from here you can literally see the entire level. Normally you would just hover all the way to the very end of the stage and touch the gold ring, but we want to clip and bounce here and grab this power up. So that gives us another emblem.
Decide which stage to go to.
Alright, so let's quickly dive over into the boss fight. We get a Shadow 1 fight. Sonic's second fight of Hero Story.
I'm the coolest. Ouch! Oh, I see. So you're not just a darn.
Bounce Bracelet made that a lot easier.
I am.
Got that quick shot in on him and finish him off in only 12 seconds.
Decide which stage
Alright.
to go to.
So our third set of stages, we've got 1 Knuckles, 1 Rouge, Shadow's remaining 2 stages, and then of course 3 mech levels, 2 for Tails, 1 for Eggman. Alright, let's quickly dive into Security Hall because this level is also fairly easy.
Before the military finds you.
Get our first piece, which is right over here. Convenient because it's literally right next to the Chow box. It is a floor and also a ceiling. Okay, over here, so we can grab that. And then we get piled up containers for our P3. That's fantastic. We didn't have to worry about a single safe set for hunting in this level. And I completely missed the gold beetle, but that's fine. We'll just grab it on a different mission.
It's gotta be close. I got it.
Yeah, the mechanics for this level typically, if you aren't familiar with this stage, you have 3 different colors of safes, blue, yellow, and red. You can only have one of them activated at a time, and normally you have to dig into the center of them to open up the safes.
Decide which stage to go to.
But sometimes you can get really lucky and get sets that don't even require you to dig into any of them at all. Run over here and grab those. Now this is one of the few places where I mentioned that the Mystic Melody will actually come in handy, because there's a shrine over here that actually makes a ton of rings spawn, and this shield, which not many people know about, unless you've speedran the ILs for this level, will help us grab all of them. And then of course our remaining rings will be right over here.
I got it. How was that?
Alright.
Perfect? Like me?
So now we gotta just grab the Lost Chow, and of course grab the upgrade in this level. Normally you would need the power-up that lets you break the iron containers, the, I believe they're the iron boots, flip in there. However, there is a funny trick that you can do that doesn't need those. You just simply grab Omo Chow and run over here to this back wall. Rouge will run in against this and gain momentum, and then just move over to the corner and you'll clip right on through into the upgrade room. We do a quick spiral upper, jump on top of this pillar, on top of these boxes, and do the same thing. Oops. Didn't get enough height like I was hoping for there. And found the Lost Chow.
How was that? Perfect? Like me? Decide which stage to go to.
Alright. Meteor Herd is a very fun level. So we got our first piece, Guns Machine protecting the Ark. Not exactly the best piece to get here. Our first Chow box is right down here. And then our second one will be right into this doorway. First try, too, on getting the meteorite to hit it. Those meteorites can be very finicky at times. And then we fly over here. We have to break this one first, swing back, and then hit the meteorite again to break this, because this is where the gold beetle is. we can use the slopes off of this platform to give us just a little bit of extra height. And then we can actually get to our third piece, or third chow box, when we come up here. This is inside those containers, and there's a high likelihood we're going to have to dive back down again anyways, so we can just hover on over, or glide on over, I mean.
More left.
We get on top of the steel drilling tower.
It's closer.
One more left.
Try digging while watching the stars. Not the best set, but I'll take it. Did I miss it?
It's closer.
There we go.
I found him.
Another piece collected for the books. A magnet shield would have been huge here, but I will happily take the 20 rings going into Mission 2. The fastest route normally you would need to complete this level on actually does involve taking damage from the meteorites that fall from the sky. However, they can be very annoying at times. So instead of worried about that, we'll just do this a little differently. So there's a ring capsule right over here. We can grab that. And that already gives us a whopping 70 rings. Just to start this off. And there's thankfully a few ring capsules that we can actually grab up here. Swing right over here, grab this one. Grab the extra life for swag. And the last 10.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Decide which stage to go to.
Alright. And because we have the Mystic Melody, we can actually complete this mission as well. But first things first, we're going to quickly go grab the upgrade. I'm going to try to clip underneath this platform and see if I can, let's see if I can get it with the very funny clip where I just drill dive into the center. Nah, didn't get it. That's unfortunate. Oh well. But we go in through the corner just like that, and we can grab the sunglasses. Normally you have to break down one of the doors there with a meteorite in order to get to it, if you're not already familiar with how to grab that in SA2. Our Mystic Melody Shrine should be right up here. There is a clip that you can actually do in this level to get inside of these canisters without the Mystic Melody. It is very finicky, though.
I found him.
And we grab the off-screen chow. And when that meteor herd is complete,
Perfect.
Decide which stage to go to.
alright, so now that we've gotten both of those dealt with, should probably go in and grab that other chow box that I missed here. One of the chow boxes that you need in Security Hall is actually hidden behind one of the doors that you have to dig to get to. But the other one, didn't grab, which is right up here in the middle section.
Close. Here we come.
Okay, it was just invincibility, so nothing too useful given the current scenario, but that's all right. Let's see, we have 101, so no Prism Lane, so that's interesting. All right, so let's go on ahead and try to do Final Chase. So I'm gonna try to do the fastest trick for this level, just to start off. If you're not already familiar with SA2, you're gonna go for Fling. This might be pushing it. Might have had a frame or two too late to actually make it, but we'll see. Yeah, it looks. Yeah, I'm way off. Oh my god. Yeah, it was just a tad too late. That's fine though. I did it too late again. We can grab the other chow boxes in the other missions, because it's more lucrative to do that anyway. Okay, the game did not read my A button input, don't know why. Thankfully though, we have like 20 lives to practice. Okay, I'm not sure why it's not reading my A button inputs when I press it. Whoa. My computer is not having a field day with this level. Okay. Again, it's not reading my A button inputs right after I unpause. There we go. Now we got it. Now we got the skip the right way. So yeah, you just hold skewed gravity until you go all the way to the very end of the level. As the whole stage is wrapped around underneath itself, but you have to squeeze between those two kill planes in order to get to the goal.
Here we go.
Took us a few tries, but we got it at least.
That wasn't so hard.
Decide which stage to...
Now we'll grab our first chub box here in Mission 2, because it's right next to some of the rings that we're going to need to grab anyways. And then we can grab the other 2 chow boxes when we get ready to do our M3 for this level. So yeah, there's a bunch of rings here that we can quickly grab. Drop down from here. Easy there, Shadow.
Here we go.
Oh, and the game was nice enough to give us invincibility on top of it. That's very funny.
Oops.
There we go. M2 complete.
Ultimate victory.
Already at 45 out of the necessary 70 emblems that we need to complete this. So we're making really good time. We don't have Shadow's Mystic Melody, So in order to get to the washout, I'm gonna have to do a really funny trick at the very end, unless the game gives me the Mystic Melody in the normal spot where it's located in this level. Okay, that's a new one. He must have just gotten a little bit of distance off the side of the tube there and just ricocheted off. Sniped from downtown. Who gave the artificial chaos the aimbot? Okay, Shadow, please gravitate to the tube. Thank you. So we will need to go up here because this is how we get to the gold beetle. Normally you just do a spin dash jump from there and just skip this whole gap, but we gotta come up here. Quick homing attack. There we go. Just a few rings. Second chow box is right over here.
Oops. Oops.
Thankfully, our upgrade is right over here. Instead, we get an invincibility capsule, so we will have to do the funny trick at the end of the level. Fortunately, the game did not read my A button input, so I will have to start back at the previous checkpoint.
Oops.
Okay, that time we made it actually up here. Jump off of this rail just a little early so we can just come across here. Okay, the game did not let me homing attack in the direction that I wanted to. So our last chow box, of course, is right down here. Give us a lovely little 10 rings. Nothing we can really use for this, unfortunately, but it's fine. Does look like we got jam and skip though, that's very funny. Sometimes when you go across that area, you actually get like some points. Typically the game will award you some, and it will display the text that usually says jammin', but sometimes it just doesn't show up. It's very funny. Alright. So now comes the fun part. Instead of going over here, we gotta climb up top. So, charge a full spin dash. I'm supposed to jump. The game did not read my A button input. Come on, Shadow, get up there. Homing attack this spring, and then we land on top of this little platform here on the pulley. Alright, now that we did that, stand, I believe, right about here. Oh, didn't get the launch off of that like I was hoping for. Shadow, please. Okay, he's not wanting to cooperate, so we'll just have to play it by ear. Normally, you can spin dash in the roundabout the spot where I was, and it will just launch you all the way up to the top without worrying about the laser gates. Whatever reason, Shadow just wasn't sticking to the tube. But it's okay. We did complete the mission, and even though it's 4 minutes, the game still classifies that as an A rank. The A rank for timing to get this mission complete is absolutely insane, because they give you so much time. Alright, so now we can go over into White Jungle. And of course, we get more chat music. Whoop, don't know why he uncurled there, that was weird. Alright, so first chow box back here. Quickly grab that. Hop on over here. Okay, so now we gotta drop down here to grab the upgrade for this level. It is possible to make it across. Normally you're supposed to have the ability to light dash. I'll give it a go and see if I can pull it off, but I'm not too sure if I will. Yeah, it didn't get the jump out. That's unfortunate. If you get the jump out, you actually can make it all the way to that platform and then not have to worry about anything. But it's fine, because the checkpoint for it is not too punishing. So we can just take the normal route that's used in the speedrun, where you just do a spin dash jump from this ring chain right over here. Or the game could drop 10 frames and eat my input. Alright, let's try that again. There we go. Then we can just skip into the bottom of the loop right there and hit the sprint. Gold Beetle has been acquired. The second and third chow boxes are very strangely put in the very back of the level. The third one you would normally think it's actually all the way back here. Did you pick it up? There it is. Shadow, please. Just Shadow. Shadow, what are you doing? Ro did not want to go underneath the barrier.
Here we go. That wasn't so hard.
Alright, we're already at 50 out of the 70 emblems, so we're making fantastic progress. We've only got a few left. And since we've already unlocked 3 of the level gates, the last one that we'll get when we collect 64 emblems will unlock the remaining few stages that weren't put into the normal 3 sets here. Quickly grab enough rings so we can get a few extra from that checkpoint. Get this ring capsule, and now our last few rings should be at the end of this section right over here. We want to homing attack that spring so we can reach those rings in that tree. There's a very funny video in the Sonic Adventure 2 speedrun community that features a run of this specific IL by one of our runners. And there's a lot of pauses in it. It's very funny. And it was edited so that every time there was a pause, it would play a Vine boom. And it's a very funny thing to listen to. Alright, so for the Lost Chow, to get to this one, we pretty much have to go all the way through the level again. Because the Lost Chow is located, like, on the second to last platform. Oh, you good there, Shadow? Thank you. Alright, making good time. Oh, aw, didn't get high enough to do the wall run entirely. There we go. Shut up. Grab the checkpoint, please. Thank you. The great thing about Shadow's missions is that they can pretty much all be completed without using a single one of his upgrades. And the same actually holds true in the Dark Story speedruns for this game as well. Alright, so now we can jump right up here. I gotta do a spin dash jump off of the slope of this tree stump. Because the Mystic Melody Shrine is right up there. And normally it would make platforms, but we can thankfully just grab a hold of the vine that's there. And then just go across this gap to get to the Lost Chow. Could do a spin dash jump, but wasn't feeling too confident on doing that one with the enemy being as close as it was.
Decide which stage to go to.
Okay, so let's go back here. We'll do a double take on what levels we still have here. Alright, so now we've got... I'm going to try to do some things here in Crazy Gadget. And if we're lucky, we'll actually get through this level relatively easily. Since we have the bounce bracelet, we can do a very useful trick that'll help us get through the stage relatively quickly. If any of you are unfamiliar with Sonic Adventure 2 speedrunning, there's a trick that we do called CGSS, which is short for Crazy Gadget Skip Skip. Why is it called Skip Skip? It's because we skip a skip that we already had for this level specifically. So I'll see if I can pull that one off. So we come over here, jump on this box. I hit the kill plane. That's unfortunate. You pretty much have to squeeze between some kill planes there, and then you fall to the goal ring with the skewed gravity. Went a little too high that time. Completely missed the rail. There we go. There we go, now we're out of bounds. So now we just use the bounce bracelet to get us a little further down here. Homing attack cancel and hit the goal ring from behind, completing the mission.
Huh. No problem.
Decide which stage to go to.
Crazy Gadget M2, thankfully, we can actually complete this mission without needing to do any of the skips. And that shield will be useful for us. So now we can quickly grab these. Take these pulleys. And then we can grab the rest of our rings in the next room. And there we go.
That was cool.
Decide which stage to go to.
Now, going for the M3 is a little bit different, because we basically would need to do CGSS, but we can't exactly progress onwards in the stage normally until we get the light shoes, so we'll have to hold back for that one for right now. So now, since we've done all of those, let's go on ahead and try to do some of these other missions that we actually can get to. So I'm going to jump over to Lost Colony. And then after we do that, we'll probably go on ahead and dive into one of Tails' levels, most likely Mission Street, because there are some checks that you can grab there without needing the booster. And of course, we get another Chow track to listen to along the way. So, one of the chow boxes right over here. And quickly grab that. And then run back here so we can get this upgrade. Gives us a magnet shield. Not exactly the best thing in the world, but we'll take it. We'll grab this one. Clean pause hover across the gap. course, there's the gold beetle. And the Chow boss. And there we go, we actually have the pick nail. So now we can do missions that require us to dig with Rouge. So now Mad Space should actually be completely doable, alongside getting that remaining Chow box that was in the security hall that we couldn't get earlier. The cool thing about Archipelago is just the fact that sometimes you won't be able to get everything all in one fell swoop, and it offers that replay factor to go back and grab the things that you missed after you've found like the necessary power-up that you need for the characters to progress. Thankfully, we get to just rest our hands for a minute there. Just a quick double check to make sure I grabbed everything there. And Lost Colony Mission 1 is complete. And there's Eggman's large cannon, so that's the upgrade that would normally allow us to break the iron containers for some of the missions, like in the one in Iron Gate. But since we did that clip, we don't even need to worry about it right now. But this actually is useful for this level specifically because there is a switch hidden inside of one of the iron containers, and it will open up a door to a few extra rings that we can grab when we get to the room that has all of the acid in it. So there's the switch, and then we can take this screen right over here and grab all of these rings. Hop right on up. Grab the rings there. Okay. Hit that ring balloon so we can grab those. Now I'll just quickly grab these and show this off. You can do a quick pause hover and actually get over the top of these gates without having to destroy them with a missile in order to get to the next area. And thus, M2 is complete.
Now you know why I am the best.
Decide which stage to go to.
Alright. Mission 3 is for the Lost Chow. Now, in the room where I cleared that relatively large gap with my hover jump, there's a platform down there that you can actually land on. A lot of people don't even know that that platform exists, or at least didn't when they first played the game. I know I didn't. I ended up having to look up a guide to find out where it was when I was a little kid. So now we can just do that little hover right there. Alright. So this will take us up here to the Mystic Melody Shrine, which of course spawns some platforms.
which stage to go to.
Alright, so now that we've done that, we could probably go on ahead and tackle some of Tails' stuff. But before we do, I'm gonna quickly run over to Security Hall and grab that last Chow key that I wasn't able to get earlier. Since now we have the dig claws, we can actually get to it.
Before the military finds you.
There we go.
Decide
Another
which
emblem for the
stage to
books.
go to.
Alright, so let's try doing one of Tails' levels here. We'll go into Mission Street and see if we can get the right checks that we need. We get Final Rush's music over this level instead. Very funny. We can do a quick run and a full jump over here. Quickly snipe that Chow box to grab that. And then of course, we can jump down here after that. Grab the upgrade. Didn't give us the booster, unfortunately, but it's okay because even though we don't have the booster, we can still make it up here and at least check one more Chow box and the gold beetle until we actually get it. So there was the second one. Broke it all the way from the other side of the level. And that gave us Sonic's light shoes, so now we could actually complete Crazy Gadget if we go back there. And then snipe the gold beetle, which gives us another emblem. Unfortunately, we can't progress any further in Mission Street until we get the booster, so we'll have to hold off on that one. Eternal Engine, we can't really make much progress there either. So it pretty much falls onto the shoulders of Mad Space, Crazy Gadget, and of course the two cart levels. And thankfully now we can actually play through the entirety of Crazy Gadget because we all have the necessary requirements. Normally you would need to get the Flame Ring to progress, but there's a cool trick that you can do to skip through one of the pathways without it. It's very funny. It's a very rare, very rarely used trick. In the community, and if I remember correctly, it's called President Clip. Alright, so instead of going to the left side, we drop down like normal. I'm just gonna quickly grab that shield, because you can do that. Quick bounce down here. And there's our first Chow box. Which puts us at a whopping 58 emblems. And then our second Chow box that we're going to have to get is in the room here where we would normally get the upgrade. I'll try to do a little funny trick here. Normally to get this you would just have to switch the gravity, but if you do a well-timed spin dash jump off the slope here, you can actually homing attack over and grab the upgrade without even needing to use it. So our second Chow box is over here. You have to go out of your way to actually get to it. And devs were kind enough to give us this little switch here that spawns a ring chain to actually get through it. So this is where I was talking about with the President Clip. So normally you would need a combination of both the Flame Ring and potentially the Bounce Bracelet to break these containers. But what we can do is we can do a fully charged spin dash jump and clip right through where that little arrow section is. Like so.
Oops.
I want to intentionally take damage here because I want to drop the magnet shield when I light dash across this gap and when I do the other light dash. Oh yeah, that's right. There's also that box. It's very funny. I completely forgot about that one. That's my bad. Alright, well, we can go back to Mad Space now that we had the ability to dig, so we can complete the other levels. Do some quick resets to see if I can get a good piece. The blue enemy on the blue stand. That is a good piece. If I remember correctly, I believe it's right over here. Yeah, there it is. So we can quickly get that. Dive down, hit the kill plane, and it will spawn us right back at the normal area. Alright, red light balcony, I believe? Yep, there it is. Okay. So, since we don't got the iron boots yet, we can't exactly take the other pathways up. So, what we'll just do instead is just fly around here. We should be able to break gravity so we can get over to this. The red light balcony, obviously, it's up here all the way at the top of the stage, which will give us another chance to grab that gold beetle while we're up here, at least.
It's gotta be close. Only one more
There
left.
it is. So now we can hover over here, snipe the gold beetle, and it gives us some rings. In our third hint monitor, we get 3-colored container, which of course is right here on the gravity planet. Little useful trick, you can buffer a spiral input out of a whistle while you stand still. So it's very useful to grab that piece, because it can be very annoying to try to jump and grab that otherwise.
How is that? Perfect? Like me? Decide which stage to go to.
Okay. So now we have Mad Space M2. The fastest route for this mission involves utilizing a power-up called Treasure Scope. Well, unfortunately, we don't have access to that one yet, so we have to rely on some of our other ring capsules and rings scattered about in this stage in order to complete the mission. So we'll grab this one right over here. And then there should be some more rings on one of these platforms near the large weight that drops down. I believe it's over here. Yep, there it is. So yeah, there are rings right over here. There's some rings, I believe, right there in the capsule, which you can actually kick through and grab. If you had the treasure scope, some other rings would become visible there. But since we don't have that yet, we can't really grab those. But there are ones up top that we can still reach, including ones that are on the grass planet, or capsule planet, I should say, is what it's actually called. As well as a bunch of rings that are at the very top of the level, so we'll go grab those first, and then make our way down from up above. Oh, I forgot that there's some rings in here, actually. Yeah, let's grab those real quick. So first ring capsule up at the top is right here, hanging off of the ceiling. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Darn. Alright, you know what? Well, I think we'll go and do a different mission while we, see if we can get our hands on the treasure scope, so we don't gotta do that one. If we're lucky, we can. So now it's pretty much kart racing stuff for right now, so let's go on ahead and dive into, these missions. So, for those who are unfamiliar with, SA2 speedrunning's kart racing mechanics. Normally when you're driving in this kart, you have a set speed. But one thing speedrunners do a lot of the time is we will start drifting and wiggle back and forth constantly. The reason for this is because we can actually surpass the top speed that the game normally locks you at while we're in this state, and it helps you to get through the stage much faster than if you were to just play through it normally. Thankfully, I have it set to only do missions 1 and 2 for Route 101 and Route 280, which is just complete the mission as normal and then grab 100 rings. Missions 3 and 4 are don't hit the walls and then don't hit cars. Those can be very annoying sometimes, namely the cars one, because you could swear that you're in front of one of the vehicles and they will actually hit Tails or Rouge's vehicle from behind and basically end the mission right then and there. However, if you are quick enough, you can actually surpass every single vehicle that's on the road because they're all on a set cycle. So if you actually pass them all, you can get to the end of the level and there's not a single car to worry about in that way.
Just a few more minutes.
Or in the area, I should say. If you'd like, you can talk a little bit about some of the stuff that's going on for our charity event, if you'd like, Tethys.
Alright, yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Obviously, run's been going really well, been very entertaining to watch. Thank you for that. Just like to take a chance to promote the charity that, of course, we're partnered with and looking to raise money for throughout this marathon, Extra Life. We're currently sat
Decide which
field.
stage to go
We
to.
disconnected. Oh no, we haven't. My mistake. Sorry, I thought I heard a Discord noise. Yeah, all of us, and something that all of us can definitely get behind and support. So if anybody is at all able to pitch in, just use the !! donate command, and you can go right ahead and donate straight to that link.
I'm getting closer.
Already at 80 out of the 100 rings that we need. We should be able to finish it off right around here. That completely finishes off Route 101.
Decide which stage to go to.
So now we're at 60 out of the 70 emblems needed to complete the game. So now we're gonna head over here into Route 280 and do this mission
Ammo. Fox boy, wait for me.
while we have the opportunity to. And I'll try to see if I can do something a little funny that you can actually do in the kart racing levels. If I get a good spot to do it in. So again, much like how with Tails' mission for Route 101, we constantly do this little swivel back and forth so we can keep our speed up and get through it much faster than normal. However, Route 280 is a little bit more deadly than Route 101 because there's many different gaps in the roads. And of course there are some hard 90-degree turns that we actually need to be careful of, because there are open gaps that we can just completely fall into the end of the level. That's one of them right there.
Did you find Tails?
Wait a minute. Be quiet. Just leave it to me.
Okay.
Ow. Let's go.
So we're almost done with this mission. Get a clean turn there, that was very nice.
I think now might actually be a good time just to hop in, because we actually have received a donation of us, right?
Oh!
So we have a $50 donation coming in from Raspberry Space Jam, and that's taken us all the way up to $300, which is 3/5 of the way, and Ace is breaking out the back with striving in celebration.
Oh yeah, gotta.
Absolutely. So thank you so much to Raspberry Space Jam for getting us to the $300 mark, and everybody else who's pitched in too at the moment. So if you want to continue to contribute to the cause, Extra Life Charity, in support of Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, just use the ! donate command, and you can help out towards a great cause. Thank you, everybody.
And of course, for those who aren't aware, Raspberry Space Jam and Porygon are two of the mods that actually work to create the SA2 Archipelago mod.
Decide which stage to go
And they
to.
put a lot of hard work and effort into it, and it really shows. Because it's a lot of fun, and a lot of people have really enjoyed it, myself included.
Boy, wait for me.
So big shout outs there to them. Alright, so now we just gotta get 100 rings, and that will basically finish off the driving section of this Archipelago run.
I must be getting closer.
Alright, we're almost done. Do a quick boost.
Ow.
There it is. 100 rings collected for Route 280.
Decide which stage to go to.
Alright, so we only need 3 emblems left in order to progress onwards and unlock the remaining few stages. So, since we can't really do much in terms of Tails' levels until we actually get the booster, we're pretty much forced to either go back into Mad Space or go in ahead and do Final Rush. So we'll probably go on ahead and do Final Rush and see if we can get some of the things here. And hopefully the remaining upgrade that we'll need will actually be located there, because the booster is also a crucial upgrade for just the sake of completion. You actually need it to completely get through Cannon's core. It's very annoying to try and do that without it. Alright, so there's our first Chow box. And then our second one will be right down here. Quickly grab the checkpoint there. And there's Tails' booster, so now we can do some of his stages. We'll quickly bounce down here and hit the goal, or hit the the rail, silly me. And then jump down here. Alright, so Gold Beetle is right up here. You have to jump high enough to get him to actually spawn. And there's Rouge's iron boots. Whoops. Most people don't know that this 1-up is here. Very off the beaten path. You really won't see it unless you actually do what I just did there and get a lot of height off of your jump from the rail. Rare instance where the magic hands is actually useful. Alright, now I'll try to see if I can do a wall run here. Alright, well, we got part of the wall run, not a full wall run, not on across all 3 of the different walls, but it's okay. It's probably for the best, considering that we would have needed to hit that checkpoint, just in case anyways. That's perfectly fine. And our third shadow box is right over here. So we'll break that. And that's all 3. So now we just gotta complete getting the upgrade for Sonic, and then just do all the missions. So we gotta jump off the rail right off here. And then, of course, this is where the Mystic Melody would be located for Sonic. And that gives us our 64th emblem. So that unlocks the final level gate, giving us our last few stages that we didn't have for SA2. And we can grab our few remaining emblems from there. So then we can go on ahead and progress onwards and do Canon's Core. So only 6 more to go.
Yes! That was cool!
Decide which stage to go to.
Alright. M2 is a funny mission for this level, specifically. Mostly because a good chunk of the rings that you would grab are either off the beaten path, or in a, rather perilous location. Sonic didn't need him to light dash there, but apparently he felt the need to do so, but that's okay. Some of the rings we can quickly grab are right down here. Alongside some right there. We jump up and then we homing attack the spring so we can get that capsule. And then you can jump off and grab these rings, but it is very risky. safe thing you can do is just take this rail down here and then jump onto this shortcut rail. Because there are a number of ring capsules that you can just quickly grab right down here.
Yes!
And there we go. And that's mission 2 complete.
That was cool!
Decide which stage to go to.
Alright, so now we have Final Rush's Lost Chow. Final mission for this stage. Much like a lot of the other missions, naturally you can get to the Lost Chow without needing to use the Mystic Melody. So I'll be doing a little trick when we get over to it. A lot of air off of that. Sometimes you can get lucky and it will launch you straight ahead rather than high up into the air like that. But now we got a second chance at the wall run, so that's good at least. Whoops. Wow, we fell all the way back down. Okay. It's fine now. No transition to the other wall, but that's fine. So we'll be coming up on the area where the Lost Chow is here shortly. Alright. So, to skip the Mystic Melody, we take this rail and we jump off right around where it slopes upward like that. And then we have to just go across all of these S-shaped rails to get to the very end. Now, unless you have the bounce bracelet, you're not normally able to get up there. But you can actually just use your hover frames from when you hit the artificial chaos and have just enough height to make it up on top of that. Unfortunately, though, I hit the grind rail that was there, so instead I didn't get what I needed. Alright, so there's our third boss fight that we can go on ahead and do, where we have Egg Golem or Dark Red Man. Quick run over here. And we get to do the funny trick at the very end of the level. If you fall into the sand right at the last second, you can press the B button to shoot your Vulcan Cannon and you can spin Eggman around in circles. It's very funny. You can do it with all the mech characters if you go into that level with them. Alright, so now we just have Egg Quarters, Death Chamber, Prison Lane, Pyramid Cave, Cosmic Wall, and City Escape. So, let's go on ahead and dive into the most iconic level of Sonic Adventure 2, City Escape. Although, music might be a bit different from what you remember.
Suspect seen heading south. Block all major roads and capture the suspect.
Here is a little fun musical fun fact for those who are a fan of SA2's music. The track that's playing right now, Mad Space's track, is actually in 7/8 time signature, which is a not type of time signature you would hear in music. Most music is done in 4/4. Alright, there's the gold beetle and our second chow box.
Yes.
And you don't need to take poles for this one. You can do a spin dash jump from up high and have enough clearance to actually make it up here. Alright. Press against the wall like that. Do a quick uncurl. Did it a little too early there, but that's fine.
Yes.
And that finishes off City Escapes Mission 1.
Too easy. Piece of cake.
Decide which stage.
So now we can go for the 100 rings mission. You can get a maximum, I believe, around 70 rings just from the boarding section alone if you pick up everything.
Yeah. Yahoo! Yes. That was cool.
Decide which stage to go to.
Alright. And now we can go for the Lost Chow.
Yeah.
So once again, we'd be playing through this stage until we get to the section where you would run down the wall. And then we're gonna do a funny clip to allow us to skip needing the Mystic Melody Shrine.
Yeah. Here we go.
Try to go for the moonwalk onto the rail there. Oh yeah. So, right around here is where you do this trick. If you jump over the dash pads and then homing attack over to this corner, you can actually clip out of bounds and fall in an area you're not normally supposed to be in. And that allows us to just clip behind the wall and fall right over here next to the Lost Chow. Completely skipping the homing attack chains and all the poles you would need to swing off of normally at the bottom of the level.
That was cool.
Decide which stage to go to.
Alright. So let's head over to... I'm gonna head over to headquarters because that's a pretty quick mission. A pretty quick level that we can actually do. Okay, we got a... interesting thing there, so that's fine. So our first hint is glowing red square. That should be right over here in the upgrade room.
It's gotta be close.
So we can quickly grab this upgrade. That just gives us a few rings.
Only 2 more.
Get our first Chow box, which is right here. And we've got Gorilla's hideout for our second one, but I'm not going to go through there just yet because I want to swing back this way so we can deal with the gold beetle, which is right over here. It's nice enough to give us a shield, and then grab this Chow box. And then the third Chow box in this level is in the area where you would normally need to go to the Mystic Melody. So we will be saving that one once we get to the actual third mission. Provided that, of course, this mission doesn't give us a an emblem from completing it, of course.
It's gotta be close. I got it.
Just like that, we have secured mission 1.
How is that?
Just gave us 5
Perfect?
rings.
Like me? Decide which stage.
Alright, so now we go to headquarters in 2. The game nicely gave us 5 rings to start. You can hide in this room. Inside this treasure chest there is a set of 10 rings that you can grab. I'm just gonna wait until he goes by. Quickly run over here. Grab this magnet shield. Quickly run over into the shadows to keep the beetle from shooting us. Grab these few chunks of rings that are scattered about right over here. Grab that ring capsule. And then, of course, thanks to our magnet shield, we can just grab our last few rings. Right there.
How is that? Perfect? Like me? Decide which stage to go.
And of course, mission 3 for headquarters is a very quick level. You just simply run right over here, jump up and use this Mystic Melody Shrine, and that will open up the area to the Lost Chow, and of course, third Chow box, which should be right over here. And that gave us our 70th emblem. So now we have all the necessary emblems that we need in order to actually complete the game.
Perfect? Like
And
me?
because we got Tails' booster from from Final Rush, we can actually progress to the end of the game. So now, we can do Cannon's Core. Funnily enough, Cannon's Core also counts its 3 Chow boxes and the gold beetle in it, as well for potential checks for items that you can get. So if you are playing this with other people, you might actually find something useful in one of those. Quick lock onto that enemy. Another funny thing too is the the buttons that you would normally hit that freeze time, the one that you hit first before you reach the egg hornet, or the gun hornet enemy, gives you more time with it being frozen than the one that you would have after it. So when you go to destroy it, just don't lock onto the one above the entrance when you walk in, because it will make all the enemies, including the artificial chaos, be able to move before you actually get to it to snipe it out, and it can be very annoying sometimes. So I'll do a quick pause hover there so that way I can lock onto the enemies, because there are a couple enemies over there that we're going to be able to get to. And I'll try to go for all of the useful clips here for Cannon's Core. We got one in Eggman stage, one or two in Rouge's, and then of course one in Knuckles. Alright, so we're out of bounds. We glide over the top of this door, and then we hug the left side. And then, while we're out of bounds here, we wait until Eggman's booster fumes. Go past this tube, and then we hold Cardinal down left. And then we fall directly in front of the door to finish the stage. Right. Now for Rouge's section, normally you need to stop time to get through this area, but if you mash the A button and just keep holding forward through it, you'll actually clip right on through. And then you can just fly into the final room from out of bounds.
Good job, Rouge. Hurry, throw the switch and drain
Like so.
liquid.
And that finishes off Rouge's section. Now the last major clip that we're going to be doing here is in Knuckles section. We're just going to completely skip all of it. So we hold forward against this corner and we clip through. That was very fast clip. And then from here we can just completely fly out of bounds and get all the way to the very end of the level. Normally, to get through this level, you would need an upgrade for Knuckles. That's called the Air Necklace. Normally, that's found in Aquatic Mine. It allows him to breathe infinitely underwater, because there are very few air bubbles that you can actually grab in that stage normally. We'll hit the gold beetle, why not?
Son, you should have cleared the electrical disturbance. It's all up to you now.
We get the Dark Garden music as we slide down this tube. And this pretty much finishes off Cannon's Core, so now it's just 2 boss fights and then that's it.
Yes! Barely made it.
Decide which state.
And now we get to fight off the Biolizard. The penultimate boss fight of Sonic Adventure 2. And we're gonna do the funny speedrun strat, because we're sick like that. But we don't need no shield. So if you spam homing attack against the crease, basically, where the tail meets the back of the Biolizard, you can homing attack spam all the way up to hit the Biolizard's weak point. Alright, and now we have only one hit left. So BioLizard's going to invert gravity. We stand right here on that little brown inner ring of the arena because that puts us the closest we can possibly get to his weak spot. And just like that, BioLizard has been defeated.
Get out, you ugly prototype.
And now, of course, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. The final Hazard boss fight with the Mad Convoy track playing in the background.
Can you hear me, son? Shadow? Aim for the red swelling area. Damage him. You're our last hope.
Sonic, leave it to me. I'll destroy it. Get all that power.
There's 2 hits down.
I'll collect the rings. Now it's up to you, Sonic.
Shadow, you need rest. Let me give it a try.
We're almost done. Halfway there on the final boss.
Yeah, take that, you creep. Shadow, are you okay?
Here I come, you.
Can both of you hear me? Atmosphere entering in about 4 minutes. Hurry.
That was a very lucky launch. Because that could have shot me all the way across the other side of the screen. Thankfully, though, it didn't.
This is working. Sonic, how are you doing?
We've almost got it.
Alright, so we only have 2 hits left on Final Hazard. Make that only 1 hit. So, get ready to stop the timer very shortly.
Here I come, you creep.
Man, he does not want me to get in there. And there it is. So, time comes up right as soon as Sonic and Shadow high five, basically.
Can you both hear me?
So,
The Archipelago
and
is Earth. Please hurry up.
I must
Time.
destroy all the evil the professor has created.
there we go. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. You can also see on the left side of the screen there, all the other objects from the missions that I did not complete are released at the very end. So yeah,
I beg of you.
that run was a lot of fun. I'm glad I had the chance to do that one. So a few things I will say briefly before I'm done. Of course, first and foremost, big thank you to Caesar for having me come on here to show off this mod. Archipelago is a lot of fun. It's a unique way to experience the game, and I highly recommend casual players and speedrunners alike give it a try. Secondly, of course, shoutouts to Porygon and Raspberry Space Jam, and as well as the Archipelago team for making the mod compatible for this game. If it piqued your interest and you feel like trying it out, you can go and get it from their official page. It's archipelago.gg. Sonic Adventure 2 is just one of the many different games that they actually have available on the Archipelago's website. Let me get that up here. So yeah, there's some of the other different various games that you can actually play. And of course, many, many more are in the works. Each game has customizable options, tailor your playthroughs to your liking, written setup guides, and links to all the necessary tools to help you out with getting started, and they have a public community Discord. And of course, last but not least, if you enjoyed the runs and you want to support me or see what I'm up to, you can always find me. I'm OriginalityAce. I'm on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and of course, trying to get back into streaming more often, so any support's greatly appreciated. I had a lot of fun here, and I'll be returning tomorrow for yet another Sonic Adventure 2 oriented run for the marathon, so be sure to tune in when that time comes. But that pretty much covers everything for me here. So, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ace. That was a real fun run. Real interesting spin on Sonic Adventure 2, and hopefully we see more Caesar games getting a shot at this in the future. That'd be a really cool thing to see. But for now, thank you. We'll sign off for a little bit before we get right back into it with the first Sonic 06 runs of the day. We've got Labris kicking us off with Silver Story. So for now, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a few short minutes. Take care, everybody.
He was my
Stay
hero,
tuned.
and I wanted to be